everyone, this is Jet and it's time for another sticky trick. Today's sticky trick has to do with how to be charismatic in your videos. Of course, people watch your videos for its content, but it's also really useful if you have good speaking skills because you come off as friendly and likable and enjoyable to watch. So here are 10 tips that'll help you really sound confident and great in your videos. The first tip is to smile. It's that simple, you know? You want to be happy and friendly, and so it's just really good to put on a smile. People will like that. The second tip is to look at the camera as much as possible. I know it's really tempting not to, especially if you use a webcam, because when you use a webcam, there's like the video of you right there and you just want to stare at it. But that's not a really good thing to do. And also, if you have like a script that you're reading from, you could read straight from the script and never look at the camera. But it's more friendly to look at the camera because it's like you're talking to a person. You want to look into their eyes when you're talking to them. My third tip is to be personal. You know, at the beginning of a video, you can introduce yourself, can laugh or make a cheesy joke every once in a while. Use natural hand gestures. Maybe, you know, make a mistake every once in a while and leave it in there because it's kind of, you know, funny and normal, I guess. Talk to the camera like you're talking to a friend, you know, in an appropriate way, but still in a very natural and friendly way. My fourth tip is don't write down everything that you want to say. I know it's really tempting to read word from word like a script, but a lot of speech classes teach you that you should only write down a couple of word cues, like little sentence fragments, you know, just things that'll help you remember what you want to say, but the majority of it should be sort of made off the top of your head. Like, you should know what you're talking about, but it should be naturally spoken, just like you'd be having a conversation with somebody. It also really helps if you don't write down everything because it gives you more of a chance to look at the camera and not at some writing or notes that you have. My fifth tip is do a couple takes if you can. I know it's not as easy if you're doing a time lapse or you're making something, but if you're just speaking to the camera, go ahead and do a couple takes because it's sort of like practice. You'll get more natural and you'll get better at what you're saying. My sixth tip is that the second time you film, or right after you filmed the first time, watch your video and assess how you did. Do you need to change the angle? Do you need to look at the camera more? You know, just what are you doing wrong, or is it perfect, you know? It might be the first time, but you might need to speak slower, or you left out something, or you need to take less time explaining things. So keep all those things in mind. And so if you're filming multiple times, assess yourself between each take. Number 7, and this is my biggest downfall, is try to avoid saying things like, yeah, you know, those little things that slip out. And I know that I'm terrible at this and I shouldn't be so hypocritical with giving you guys advice, but it's really hard and this could be a really hard habit to break. It's something that I'm working on. Just try not to let those sort of word fillers slip in during your videos. So you guys can go ahead and chastise me every time I say, then again, you know, because it's not very professional and it's a bad habit. So do your best not to include that in your videos. Number 8 is avoid filming your videos when you're very, very sad, because your mood does reflect in your appearance and everything, and people feel it, and you don't want everyone to be down in the dumps from watching your videos. You want people to feel happy after watching your videos. So if you have to film when you're sad, try not to let it affect you so much. Try to put on a clean slate on your face and think happy thoughts, because you don't want that to reflect in your videos. If you want to see an example of this from me, when I wrote my braided bracelet tutorial, I was actually really mad that day. And you can kind of see it when you watch the video, if you were to know from me telling you, of course. You might not notice it a whole lot, but it's true. I do kind of, my explanations are very flat and not friendly, and I don't smile very much because I'm in a bad mood. So keep in mind your mood when you're filming and try to avoid on good days. My 9th tip is I encourage you, if you ever have the opportunity, to take acting classes or speech and debate or just public speaking classes. Not only will they help you everywhere in your everyday life, but it'll also really help you in your videos. So when you're doing a group project in school, you'll really have those speaking skills, or later in life when you have a job, you'll have really good interviewing skills and have a good time communicating with your boss. So just acting classes, drama, speech and debate, things like that can be really helpful. So if you ever get the opportunity, go for it. It'll give you better advice than I'm giving you right now, definitely, if you get that experience speaking in front of people like that. My 10th and final tip is, if you are naturally very shy, just fake it. Pretend you're not shy. I know that seems like such bizarre advice, fake it until you make it, but it really does help. I am naturally pretty shy in real life, and what really helps me is having this sort of online alter ego for my business and everything. And I try to imagine the qualities that I as a person would like to have and would like to exude for myself and want other people to think of me as. I think I want to be confident, I want to be happy and positive, I really want to be a good role model for people, I want to have 10,000 subscribers, and I want people to really enjoy my videos, and I just want to be someone who seems like they know what they're talking about, and just who people can go to for advice. And I think of those things before I'm filming a video. So just write down all the qualities that you would like to have and imagine that you do have them, because who's to say that you aren't that person, and you can be that person. So just think of how you would like to be and be it. And if it helps to have an alter ego or think of it as like a separate personality of yours, go for it, whatever helps you. And it will eventually increase your confidence. And it's certainly not good to come off as not confident in your video. Definitely don't, start your video with, I'm so sorry, I'm so nervous, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry if my video is just horrible. Don't do that. You want to be sure of yourself. You want to be your #1 fan. So definitely think of yourself as that person and be it. Okay, so that's all the advice I have for today. And if you have anything else that you would recommend, leave it in the comments below. Talk about your experience with speaking and your speech skills and how you'd like to improve and what you think makes a YouTuber appear really friendly and likable and everything. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you guys.